Well, it's semi-main event time here at Dominant Championship Wrestling. My name's Gerard. I'm joined, of course, by the great Brandon Benefield, and we're getting ready for a match that should be a knockdown, drag-out fight. I can't wait for this one.
As you hear the lovely Nadia Hunter let you know, Psycho Boy Fodder is in the house here tonight in Selma, North Carolina. As GB mentioned, Dominant Championship Wrestling. It's main event time here as the Psycho Boy gonna have his hands full with somebody that might match him on the Psycho scale, if I dare say so myself.
You know, when you start talking about popular movies like Godzilla and King Kong, you know, that's really what we have here in terms of the mental capacity and the mental stability, I should say, of the two competitors here in Dominant Championship Wrestling. I hope that this crowd is prepared for what's about to happen. We're familiar with both of these guys, so we know this match could get crazy very, very quickly.
And you know, we've seen Fodder all over the country. We've called plenty of his matches, as you mentioned. And something I'm noticing right off the bat, he's normally flanked by the other half of Psycho Love, that being Angelina Love, yet she is not here tonight.
And that, you gotta wonder how that's going to play into things for him. She's usually very, very instrumental in distracting referees and really assisting him in wins. He might need that assistance tonight more than he realized.
Of course, he'll have his hands full, as we mentioned, and
oh boy,
he's gonna take on, oh yeah, the lights are out. A chill comes over the building here.
I'm nervous.
As we get ready to see the appearance of the IWTV Independent Wrestling World Champion. Keep in mind that title not on the line here tonight, but that is the Atrocity Krule.
Well, for about as long as we've known Fodder, it's safe to say we've known Krule even longer. And everywhere he goes, he is, as his name advertises, an atrocity. There's going to be all kinds of problems when this man shows up. We've seen him in death matches. We've seen him destroy companies. Good luck, Fodder.
And here's the thing, as you mentioned, GB, yeah, we've known him a long, long time. We've seen the early days of Krule. We saw the development of the Atrocity Krule. We saw how he became more and more unhinged as time went on. Now that he has that IWTV World Championship, he seems to be unstoppable. Now again, like I mentioned, that title not on the line here tonight at DCW, but that doesn't make him any less dangerous.
Think about, you talk about dangerous. Do you remember Halloween?
Oh, yeah.
When he killed a man?
He lit a man on fire.
Yeah, like, this is, so again, you're dealing with the Atrocity Krule against a Psycho Boy. Do you know how nuts this is gonna be?
This is crazy, and the thing is, I'm wondering if Psycho Boy Fodder realizes just how psycho the Atrocity Krule really is.
I agree. It's almost like looking into a mirror in terms of the craziness here. And look at this. You know, one thing that happens often with Psycho Boy Fodder is he loves to intimidate his opponents by going outside of the ring, breaking their momentum and things like that. That's not working here with Krule.
Yeah, the mind games don't work too well with somebody. Again, I don't want to be in the mind of either one of these gentlemen.
No.
Well, gentlemen, I'm using that term very loosely.
Very loose. Did you look at the eyes of Krule?
Yeah.
That's not so gentle. And the face of Fodder with that tongue out. Now we've got a bell, and look at this. Look at this.
Nobody gets in the face like that of Krule. And look at that.
Whoa, did you see that?
Psycho Boy just pie-faced Krule. Krule misses with a clothesline here.
Oh, boy.
Psycho Boy might have a death wish.
I'll tell you what, there are very few people in this business who have managed to put the shoulders of Krule to a mat. How will Fodder do what most have been unable to do? Fodder looks like the world is closing in on him right now.
Fodder ducks the smaller challenger here. Fodder using his quickness, able to get out of the corner.
And he's going to need to do that, but jaw-jacking. Oh, no, that's not going to work, sir.
Yeah, his usual tactics, his usual running his mouth to the crowd and to his opponent, not going to work here tonight as he just ate that big elbow from the Atrocity.
And you can see by the stance of Krule, he is not intimidated at all by any of the antics of Fodder.
Now, of course, leading up to this match, Fodder, he told everybody, he told the world, he vows to get the mask off of Krule and expose Krule to the world. But all I can say to Fodder is good luck trying to even attempt to get the mask off of this monster.
First of all, your hands can't get high enough to get to his face.
Yeah, the near 7-footer.
So there's that. But now I can see Fodder is being overwhelmed right now. And if you think about it, many of the matches that Fodder has been in, you know, where he may have lacked size, he certainly began to intimidate, and now here we go.
Smart move here from Fodder. You know, I've said it before. Oh, just when I said a smart move. Yeah, backfired there as Krule using his leg strength and pulling Fodder face first.
Fodder took too much time on that one. And again, this is such a wild match. Conceptually, you know, when we heard this match was happening, it's the match I didn't know I needed. But these two levels of crazy, yeah, it's giving us everything we need right now.
Big right hand, another right hand there from the Psycho Boy, but it's barely phasing the Atrocity Krule.
And here's the thing, in most matches, Fodder loves being on the outside, and it's to the detriment of his opponent. However, when you're dealing with Krule, he loves being outside just as much as Fodder does.
Absolutely he does. He lives out there. We've seen so many, as you mentioned, death matches, matches that were literally outside where there weren't even any rings.
Absolutely. Any place you want to fight, that's where Krule wants to go.
Uh-oh.
And a big slam there from Krule.
Krule into the ropes. Big splash.
And this could be over before it starts. Count of two. And only two.
But Fodder gets that left shoulder up in time and again rolls to the outside, which in most cases he does in a lot of his matches to get some reprieve. But to your point, he's going to be followed by the monster there as he gets hung up on the top rope, does Fodder.
It's so interesting strategically. Fodder is almost always able to find a counter for anything, and just as soon as I say that, he's found a counter here for Krule.
You know, we talked about it before in previous matches with Fodder. Fodder wrestles beyond his years. He's got the experience of a veteran in there, even though he's only been wrestling for a few years, but he knows a guy the size of Krule, you got to chop him down from the tree trunk.
And that's where working on that leg right now is such a smart move there from Fodder. And it's interesting because, again, when you're dealing with these two guys who are pretty psychotic, they love pain and the like, it's interesting to see. And there we go, working on that leg. That is textbook wrestling. Great wrestling strategy from a guy who calls himself Psycho.
Yeah, nice chop block there from the Psycho Boy. And it's kind of bizarre in here. It's kind of a weird feel, a weird atmosphere in the building right now because a lot of these fans may not have ever seen the Atrocity Krule in person. So it's almost like this weird hush came over the crowd when both of these guys started this matchup.
It's the equivalent to seeing a monster on television, then you see him in front of you. On television, you feel safe. When he's in front of you, yeah, there's a hush that falls over. It's kind of the holy hush, the awe, the shock and awe, and that's what's happening because you have two monsters in front of you right now.
And the Psycho Boy's working on that leg. You saw the Atrocity Krule just squeezing the head, trying to pop the head of Psycho Boy Fodder, but Fodder right back to that left leg.
And again, a very smart wrestling strategy. In any great wrestling school, they will teach you, go after a body part. And especially when you're dealing with someone larger than you, this is a great strategy here from Psycho Boy Fodder, which puts him in the driver's seat in this matchup.
Back elbow there from the Atrocity Krule, but you see the big man's hobbled a little bit as he's kind of limping around the ring, and Fodder staying on the attack, staying on that left leg.
Fodder realizes, again, if you're going to get a win over Krule, a man who has dominated the independent wrestling circuit, then to do that, you've got to cause him to either submit or to get a pinfall on him. And you can't do that if he's standing on 2 feet.
And the tenacity of the Psycho Boy right back up, right back to the leg, a clubbing blow to the back of the head of the Atrocity Krule. What's he got in mind here?
I was going to say, we're learning an awful lot here.
Oh, looking for a dragon screw leg whip. But did you see how slow the leg got, the torque on the leg?
Yeah.
It took down the big man. It's like a tree falling in the woods.
It certainly is, and it fell awkwardly and like a DDT of sorts to the leg.
Fodder, like him or not, making some smart moves in this matchup with the big man. It's going to take a lot more than that to keep down Krule.
Again, you know, you think about what would be the strategy when you're going against somebody who is a walking, living, breathing atrocity. He is a train wreck. He is a bomb scare literally walking in front of you. Who would have thought that it'd be textbook wrestling that would give the Psycho Boy the advantage right now?
Yeah, I don't think many people would have thought. If you would have said Fodder would have him grounded in the center of the ring, Krule that is, I don't think a lot of people would have saw that happening, but here we are.
Here we are. We've certainly had a chance to see Krule travel around the world as the independent wrestling world heavyweight champion. He brings all of that experience into this match against a man who has traveled in the NWA, a well-traveled competitor in Psycho Boy Fodder, and Fodder now jumping on the back of the Atrocity Krule.
Uh-oh, and Krule wisely falling back into the corner, causing Fodder to break that hold.
And now Fodder again, though. And you know what? I'm starting to, well, before I wondered, this match could be over. Count of one.
Bulldog out of the corner, and Fodder almost shocked everybody with a big win right there.
So it's interesting, at the top of the match, you mentioned that the Psycho Girl, Angelina Love, is not here. How would that impact the focus and the strategy there of the Psycho Boy? And it looks like he's more focused, strangely enough, than when she's here, which I think is interesting, but it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's a good point here as Atrocity Krule slowly trying to get back up to his feet, using those left elbows right to the midsection of Fodder. Finally breaks free of the hold. A big left hand right up under the jaw. Just rocked the jaw of Psycho Boy Fodder.
You know, and you've got to wonder, in terms of strategy, do you try to get a quick 3 count over Krule? Do you try to wear him down? It looks like we've gone with the wear down approach, but Krule seems to be back on his feet.
Yeah, once Krule gets that second win, Fodder's in trouble here, as Fodder now goozled up. But Fodder finally breaks free. He charges into the rope. Oh! We've seen Atrocity Krule use that before. Pin attempt
and
here.
This could be over. Whoa.
The quickness of the big man, the near 7-footer, the over 300-pounder. He sweeps the leg, picks you up, hits you with a side slam, all in one fell swoop.
That's right, and that's what makes him so dangerous. He is not your normal big man who can just barely move around. And you can see he was trying to get some feeling into that knee, but the quickness there, and there's a cutter.
How about that? Fodder pulling out all the stops here. Pin attempt, no, just a 1 count.
He can only get a 1 on the Atrocity Krule.
And Fodder now getting irritated with the referee, wondering what's it going to take here.
And here comes the Psycho Stick.
Now this is not a no disqualification matchup, so if he uses that, this one's over.
Absolutely. And I'm starting to wonder if the Psycho Boy even, oh boy. The Atrocity just sat up.
That just gave me, that is a spine-chilling sight right there, GB.
It certainly was, but look at this.
Goozled up once again. Chokebreaker. A chokebreaker from Krule.
But it was on that knee. It was on that knee that the Psycho Boy has been working on.
It's a great point, GB. Normally, Krule would pin his opponent immediately, but...
Count of 2, and whoa! Smart veteran move there from Psycho Boy Fodder, reaching and grabbing the bottom rope, which broke the count.
Absolutely great ring awareness there from Psycho Boy. Now, what's Fodder doing here now under the ring?
Well, you know, in these circumstances, we talked about Angelina Love, how she'd normally distract the referee right now and insert some sort of foreign object.
And knock out Krule. Oh!
And there's the foreign object, a steel chair, but the referee saw it.
And right in front of the ref calls for the bell. That's going to be a DQ.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. The Psycho Stick had no effect.
Oh boy.
On Krule.
And now there are no rules.
Massive choke slam to Psycho Boy Fodder from the Atrocity Krule.
And now the rules are out of the window. The match seems to be over, but the action is still going.
Yeah, we heard the bell there from the referee. And he tries to raise the arm of Krule. Krule, of course, doesn't want anything to do with it. And there's the official announcement from the lovely Nadia Hunter there. Krule is your winner here tonight due to disqualification. But at this point, I don't think Fodder even cared about winning the match or losing the match.
Yeah, I think Fodder just wanted to escape with his life at this particular point and said, let me get out of here. Let's bring this steel chair into things, and let's call it a day.
And look at the face, look at the look in the eyes of Psycho Boy Fodder. I think that he's met his match. He finally wrestled somebody who might be just as crazy, if not crazier, than himself.
Absolutely, and boy, the straps have come down for the Atrocity Krule. We know that is a problem for sure, and for me, I want to see them run this back. I want to see what would happen with a definitive winner. Maybe we need a cage. Maybe we need, a falls count anywhere kind of match. But we need these two men, or these two monsters, in a ring. opposite each other one more time.
These two psychos. And I tell you what, if I'm Fodder, I'm heading straight through the locker room, straight to my car, and I'm getting out of town. Because look at Krule. I would not want Krule coming through that curtain.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Get straight on the next thing smoking, because you want to get home to the Psycho Girl. And you aren't going to do that if you're in the way of that guy.
Now look at this. Krule has got the Psycho Stick in hand, and it'll go down in the books tonight. Krule, your winner. And he's heading straight through the curtain. I bet he's going right after Psycho Boy.
I wouldn't be surprised.